Hello and welcome back to the Cavalier's Tale. So today we are looking at the special section of Saurian Ancients Alpha 1 book release, Legendary Army book. Very exciting. Whoop whoop. Let's get on with it, shall we? You don't want to watch any faff. So again, a little bit of faff first. If you've been watching them for the rest of the week, different channels are uploading different parts. There'll be more tomorrow, and then September the 1st is the book release where you'll see full army book reviews. And you can finally download the book for yourself. And because everything prior to the special section has already been spoiled, we can now refer to it all. So I can go back and show the characters and talk about core and stuff, which is very exciting. Okay, let's get on with it. So the first unit we've got is Tagu Guards. Units of 15 to 30 models with scoring. A stat line of what you'd expect, I guess. 4-8 move. Is that slower than it used to be? No, it's not slower than it used to be. So that's 4-8 move, discipline 8, 1 hit point, defensive 4, res 4, armor 2, 2 attacks each, offensive 4, strength 4, AP 1, agility 2. For special rules, they've got bodyguard, Anurak archmage, they've got communal bond, and they've got scoring, so they do benefit from cold-blooded from themselves, and then they give out a bubble of that as well. Fearless, native MR1, and scoring. Containment field, which is a personal protection. Attacks made by enemy units in base contact with one or more models with containment field suffer -1 to wound if they are special attacks and or magical attacks. It's quite nice. Well, I mean, let's be real. It's very nice. Against units, against cowboys, suddenly your unit of res 4 Tagu Guard with, light armor and shield. So they've got a 3-up save. They're res 4. And then it's -1 to wound if they've got a magical enchantment, which is great. That's fantastic. Yeah, happy with that. And then so they start with parry because they've got their shield and hand weapon. You can also give them either a halberd or a great weapon. The halberd makes them strength 5, AP 2. They're only agility 2 anyway, so if you want to pay the extra points, you can go up an extra strength AP and then give them a great weapon. Don't know, depends on whether you want to be a tanky unit or a killy unit, I suppose, and you can kind of go either way with that. Then champion and standard bearer, no musician because this army doesn't have musicians. They've got swift reform as part of communal bond, and every unit has that if they've got communal bond anyway. They don't need to earn that through being a scoring or compound unit, and then you can take a magical banner enchantment as well. So I think this is the unit that would be really good with skeptic scales. Just a big block of this. Put what's it called? The Tagu veteran. Put a Tagu veteran in here. Make him really big and scary and killy. And then put that in there. Put the skeptic scales on there and just make a big horrible scary unit. Give them great weapons. Just scare everything else off. For 23 points a model as well, that's pretty cheap considering the containment field and a native MR1. I think that's pretty good. 290 for the starting unit, that's quite a lot, I guess. But whatever. Points are meaningless, aren't they? Next up is Tagu Mystics. So these are really interesting. They only have hand weapons, so no parry, no special weapons, nothing like that. But same stats as above, but offensive and defensive 3 and discipline 7. They've got communal bonds, so they've got swift reform. But because they're not a scoring unit, and because you can't make this unit a compound unit, because there are no units in the book with compound unit, you'll need to keep this unit close to other units to give them minimized break tests, basically, which I think would be difficult. I think this unit would be really, really good if you could find a way of doing that to this unit, to give them their minimized break checks, to give them their own commanding presence, all that kind of thing. So, yeah. So they've got hard targets, they've got armor 2, no other armor besides that, but like res 4 and light troops, that's pretty cool. They've got swift stride as well, so which is nice. I mean, it's not going to make an awful lot of difference, but it's a nice thing to have, isn't it? Battle focus, magical attacks, and vitalist combat. If if allocated towards a standard height model, the attack gains +1 to wound. So, regardless of the fact that they're only attacking with hand weapons, they've got 2 attacks each with battle focus, and it's +1 to wound against standard height models, which is what these guys want to be fighting, which is fantastic. You know, if you're fighting the thing that you want to be fighting, otherwise you're going to get munched. So yeah, these are very specialized. I think it's a really cool unit. Making it the Enclave Wizard is one of the proper adept ones where he gets 2 spells instead of just the 1. And Awaken the Beast, Break the Spirit, Enlightenment, and Entwining Roots are all really good spells for this unit, I think. Awaken the Beast particularly. Break the Spirit I don't particularly like personally. Enlightenment is good for the unit because it can give the unit discipline if you're out of that bubble, if you need it. And Entwining Roots helps with the fact that this unit's only offensive and defensive 3. So I didn't mention it yesterday, but I think this is the unit that if you want to really make it work, this is where you're going to be taking a character with Crown of Autocracy. You can't take generals in this unit, in this army, but nothing has not a leader. So you can still take Crown of Autocracy and give the 2 fingers, flip off No Gods, No Kings, and bring a crown of your own, and say that you are part of an autocracy. That gives commanding presence to units around it, and if you benefit from commanding presence, then you benefit from communal bond properly. So a big scary Tagu veteran in a big unit of Tagu Mystics. They now have a light troop character in with them, because it's a standard height infantry model. They benefit from their communal bond. They're discipline 8 from the Tagu chap. And then you get a couple of spells from the wizard, which is really cool. And light troops and everything. Whether or not it's quick enough to be a good or anything, but, I mean, Crown of Autocracy works anyway. Like, for, if you want to take it on a Taurosaur that's going to go on a flank, then you can do that. If you want to take it on an Alpha Carnosaur that wants to go on a flank, then you can do that. That's just cool. So I think this is a cool unit. I don't know whether it's good. I like it. I don't know whether it's good though. Next up, Raptor Back. So this has been in one of the spoilers as well. It's very cheap. They have got almost identical stats to the Tagu Mystics. Res 4, Strength 4. It's AP 2 and Agility 4. Agility 4 is pretty good in this army because everything's very slow. Only Discipline 6, March 14, Advance 7, and then it comes with Pack Hunter, so rerolls to charge when part of a combined charge. Communal Bond, they're not scoring, and they'll need to be a part of a combined unit to make that work. They're standard cavalry. I don't know whether that's a mistake. I assume that's a mistake. Hello, yes, that is a mistake. I've spoken to the team. It's just an error from where the book's being laid out properly. They're supposed to be standard beasts. That'll be changed for the release. Units of 8 or more without ambush or corrosive spitter count towards core, which is nice. And if you want to go for ambush is pretty good. They don't have light troops, but I mean, a big block of Res 4, Strength 4, AP 2 with 2 attacks in your backline is never good for anybody, so that's pretty good, especially if a unit of 5 with ambush is only 130 points, so that's pretty cool. Corrosive Spitter, the model gains poison attacks. In addition, the model gains breath attack, strength 2, AP 3, with the following exceptions. Instead of 2d6 hits, the target suffers a number of hits equal to the number of models with Corrosive Spitter in the unit. Only a single model in each unit may use this breath attack once per game. So you nominate a model in the unit, that does the breath attack, and instead of rolling for it, if you've got, if you've still got 15 guys in there, that's 15 hits. If you've got 2 guys left in there, that's 2 hits. And it's strength 2, AP 3. And then because it's a normal breath attack, it's used up as normal. And then in addition to that, you gain poison attacks. You can't combine it with ambush, unfortunately, so you can't just ambush 15 guys and then hit something with a breath attack with 15 hits or anything. But I mean, poison's great on strength 4, AP 2, I guess. And like I say, at the moment, they're cavalry, so you can hide Tagu veterans in this unit. Moving on to the Raptor Riders. So, the Raptor part is identical. Then we've got a Tagu Rider who's got Lodestone, so they get +1 to hit against units with armor of 3 or more. They come with armor 3, 2 from the Rider, one from the guy, and then light armor and shield. So these guys have got a 2-up save. They've got scoring, Pack Hunter, and communal bonds, so they benefit from minimized break checks or minimized discipline checks because they're scoring. Pack Hunter gives them rerolls to charge, which is great on a cavalry unit because you're already really fast. It's pretty slow cavalry, but you know that's quick enough. 8 models for a starting unit. I don't think that was the case in the old book, so this is, I suppose, problematic maybe if you wanted to be like, you can't take small scoring darts with this unit. But you know, meh. So you can choose between light lance and halberds. I'd be inclined for halberds because why on earth would you take light lances, right? Like even for the points change. You know, you can be strength 5 AP2 for 1 round of combat if you charge, or you can just be strength 5 AP2 all the time. There's not really a choice there, personally. And they've both got lodestone as well, so it's not as if one's magnetized and the other isn't. Command options, again, no musicians, but you can take a champion and a standard bearer with banner enchantment. You know, this is exactly as you remember them, basically. I think plus lodestone, so that's really cool. I like that. That's very cool. And this can be part of a combined unit, which is awesome. So can the Raptor Back. I can't remember if I mentioned that, which is all very cool. Very, very cool. We like that. Cayman Elders. So this is, I think these guys have the same stats as the old Caymans, but now they're on a 50mm base because the 40mm version is Cayman Warriors, and those are in core. Otherwise, I think these guys are more or less the same. They've got an extra hit point, if I remember correctly. They're very slow with Agility 1, but they've got Weapon Master. So Tooth and Claw, that means extra attacks for the units, lethal strike, and I think lightning reflexes when you're using Tooth and Claw. The Weapon Master, and then you can choose to take Great Weapons or Halberds or both, which is very cool. I really like this unit. You have to go very small if you want to use them for a combined unit, but that's also free, so you can just take combined strength and then not use it if you don't want to, because you're paying for it. Or you're not paying for it, rather. In addition to all that coolness, the champion is one of the Enclave wizards, so he can pick 2 spells between Savage Fury, Summer Growth, and Enlightenment. Summer Growth is a fantastic one. Obviously, I mean that's going to be great for this, you know, for this unit, for anything that you might be in. If you join, oh no, so if you join, if I was going to say, if you can do it as a combined strength, you would lose the Enclave Wizard as part of the combined strength rule, but that's really cool for other units with combined strength because you can target that and then you count the majority model rather than the model that you're targeting, which is nice. So you can put Caymans into a unit of Skinks, grow them back, and then grow back like 4 hit points or 6 hit points, depending on whether or not you've got Oak thrown up. Juicy stuff. Stuff that we like. Moving on. So I really like the Therascooters herd. I think the Therascooters in the old book is really cool, but not great. So now you can take it in units in 3. They can take Haldar devices now, so you can give them bows, you can give them the Carved Wisdom, Engine of the Ancients. So as I said yesterday when we were having a look, or the other day when we were having a look at, what was it? The shooting weapons, you can put these guys in Skink Hunters, and Skink Hunters, let's hope I was correct. Skink Warriors and Skink Hunters. Skink Hunters have light troops, they've got poison javelins, so that's your run around in the flanks, shoot stuff. The Therascooters herd currently don't have light troops, and because it's not a standard size infantry, it's not going to gain light troops from joining the Skink Warriors. Oh, this is with Venomous Fortress. If you give it Venomous Fortress and then join it to Skink Hunters, that unit's going to then lose light troops. I imagine this is incorrect and should be fixed. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. But I guess bear that in mind. In other cases though, you know, if you're not taking Venomous Fortress, it's a 50 by 100mm base, so it's a large cavalry, which means it fits in with Tagu Warriors and Tagu Guards. And that gives them great protector, so it makes the model 290 points, but it means that you can take Tagu Guards with great weapons, and they cannot be stomped and parry, which is amazing. That's really good. And if you check the combined strength rule, this isn't a war platform. It's not infantry, so it can't be placed further back in the unit, but because it's not a war platform, it doesn't have to go in the center of the unit, so you can put it on the flank of the unit or off to one side, and then not block the attacks of your Tagu Guard, while also giving the unit cannot be stomped and parry, which is excellent. Because it has parry itself, it's not particularly easily targeted over the rest of the unit, and then it's res 5, 5 hit points, and armor 5, so that's amazing. And like I said, you target the main part of the unit, so Summer's growth from another model into this unit. If your Therascooters is hurting, you can put a load of those hit points that you've regrown back into the Therascooters and grow that back and keep it alive for the cannot be stomped and parry, which is amazing. This unit isn't scoring, and it's not, unless you're taking combined strength to put it in something else, it's not part of combined units, so you're going to have to keep it close to something, or do something to give it minimized break checks from communal bond. Otherwise, it's only discipline 6. So that's something to watch out for. But otherwise, I really like the new Therascooters herd. I think this matches with how cool the unit should be, because dinosaurs and cool dinosaurs. We want cool dinosaurs. 1 to 3 models in a unit, and 0 to 4 models per army. So you can take 2 units of 2, or 1 unit with Venomous Fortress, and then a unit of 3 with Engine of the Ancients, or whatever, if you want to take loads of them. Yeah. Oh, and they're bad in combat, but you take them for this, I suppose, or the shooting weapons that you can stick on the back. But they've still got crush attacks, and 3 crush attacks is better than 1 crush attack, so that seems fair to me. Okay, next unit. Ramford Riders. So this is one of the units with predator senses, so you need marking lures and prey scent markers and all that jazz to get rerolls to hit. Feeding Frenzy, they've also got their additional rule to interact with Feeding Frenzy. If they charge a unit marked with a prey scent marker, they get Devastating Charge plus D3 attacks for that model part, which is pretty cool because they've already got Battle Focus and Lethal Strike. So they reroll to hit against something that you want to be charging. They've got 3 attacks each, and then you can increase that by D3. That's very cool. They're not tough, of course. They've got like 2 hit points at res 3 with a 4-up save. They're not going to take much damage back, but you can gribble something fairly effectively if you're charging it in the flank. Just don't expect it to come out the other side. These guys have got Fearless, so they make terrible chaff, dreadful chaff. But they've got light troops and vanguard, so you can use them as a pinch. It's just, I suppose they're really good if you want to chaff something that causes terror, because they're not going to give a damn about that. And then the Skink Riders on the back are very inconsequential. No Enclave Wizard, no standards, but you can take a champion. And then finally, I think the final choice in special is the Saurian Swarms. These guys come with combined strength as basic for Skink Warriors and Skink Hunters. These guys do have light troops, so they won't hamper the Skink Hunters moving around as light troops. They've got the same rule as always. All models in enemy units must take a Dangerous Terrain 1 check after completing a charge move against a unit that contains 1 or more models with Venomous Tide, even if that unit is fleeing. So that's pretty cool. I suppose you can use these guys as chaff, run it up and right in front of a unit, flee if you want, have that unit catch you. All models in that unit then have to take a dangerous terrain check. Then your unit dies, then they'll do their reform if they pass their discipline check. But that also means that Venomous Tide also means that you can join your Saurian Swarms to a unit of Skink Warriors. The Skink Warriors can be charged in the rear, and because they're still part of that unit, Venomous Tide will still apply to the unit that's charged you in the back. And additionally, because it's standard infantry, these Saurian Swarms don't have to be placed at the front of the unit, so they're not taking attacks away from your Skinks. They're not being targeted by enemy units to provide combat res. I think actually, I looked at these, I wasn't sure about them, but like considering you don't have to put them in the front of the unit, and you can put them in the middle of a unit and make that unit, you know, larger for ranks. They're light troops, you can use them for, you know, your skink hunters and chaff. I think these are pretty good for 110 points. I'm not sure you'd ever take the extra models. But otherwise, that's really cool. I like that. And that is the end of this part of the review. So check out tomorrow for people doing... let me have a look who's doing tomorrow's. There's a battle report out today from Watch These Dice. Then tomorrow is a preview of the Guerrillas Warriors section and the Magnosauria by Evershade Gaming and Urkanork if you speak Spanish, and also a battle report tomorrow. And then the day after that is release day. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time.